Welcome back to West of Loathing. I'm still kind of reeling from the realization that my class name this entire time was a double entendre. And all it took was a very weird and specific reference to the fact that I'm hiding the magazine. They said hiding the magazine under a log in the woods, which is such a specific reference. Yeah, and then insinuating that somebody else would become a snake oiler by finding the magazine. It's just, I'm never gonna be over that. This game is ruined. All right. There's a pile of loose boards. Apparently I can build stuff. There is boring. Tools like drills and awls. Tools for boring. It's just a lathe that's not worth getting into a lather over. There's a guy slouching around here smoking a cigarette. Hiya. Hey, sup? Do you work here? Are you a parking attendant or something? Yeah, I guess. I validate people's parking in that. Can you? I'm on break. Okay. Well, really, everyone's on break. Kinda. What do you mean? A whole bunch of ghosts showed up in ghost carriages all of a sudden. Everyone's either hiding out or kidnapped. I got here in a ghost carriage. Oh man, did I die somewhere and not notice? Am I a ghost? The guy jabs your forehead with one finger. Ow. Nope. Well, I guess I'll convince him to go back to work. Okay, well, you should probably go back to work now. Yeah, why is that? Because I'm going to rescue all the other employees, and if they come back and catch you slacking off, they'll be ticked. Aw, geez. Okay, fine. Just let me finish this smoke before you go getting all heroic. Alright, what am I building with? Boo. I scared myself by using up the nails that I had. Okay. Alright, so I think the only thing left to do in here, or the only thing to do now, is to go in the front doors again. Alright. Nothing to say about this portrait? Oh, the eyes are moving on the portrait. It's a newfangled electric intercom system. Use the intercom. The intercom is making an annoying humming and crackling noise. Find a spider killing frequency. Interesting. Push the talk button. Hello? Psst, the ghost just said hell at me. Spooky. I'm pretty sure that's not a ghost. The intercom's just busted. Try again. Hello? Hello? Who? It? Mrs. Gunn? No, Mrs. Gunn. Oh man, that would have been pretty good. That would have been a pretty good joke if the intercom wasn't broken. Would it? Mrs. Gunn, did you know your intercom is broken? You'll have to dig up my intercom is. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm just doing my best. Are we just gonna do the old Are we just gonna do these old vaudeville gags all day? What do you mean old? It's 1895. Vaudeville is at its peak. Mrs. Gunn, we're here about the ghost extermination you requested. Well, one of us is. The other is just generally adventuresome. Can we have a word? I can't take what you're saying. Come up to third floor. Alright, the floor it is then. What? Alright, well now we know where to go. It's a plaque. The house of Mrs. Terry Gunn. Teresa Terry Gunn, born 1847, built this stately, if architecturally unusual, manor house in the late 70s, completed in 1877, using the proceeds from her famous invention, the gun. After her retirement in 1891, she graciously opened many of the rooms to the public as a museum and historical center. Yeah, so this is definitely a reference to the Winchester Mystery House. notably nobody lives. I shouldn't say that with such confidence. I'm pretty sure nobody lives in the Winchester Mystery House. But anyway, fancy new electric floor lamp. Interesting. Why are you freaking out so much? What's the skinny, compadre? There it is. Kill it, kill it, kill it. Okay, dang. Just try to be a tiny bit cool about it, will you? Kill it. Pretty fancy place. That must be Mrs. Gunn herself in that painting over there. I don't like how the eyes follow me around. Best art triggers an emotional response. Like, creeped out. This doesn't seem that scary. You hit a small, non-threatening spider. A small, non-threatening spider is defeated. See, that wasn't so bad. Easy for you to say. Alright, well. Brr, it's cold as a federal grant administrator's heart in here. Ugh. I wonder what's causing that. You don't think it's, you know, all that ice? No, you got it backwards. That ice couldn't be here if it wasn't cold to begin with. That's science. Maybe the house's heat got shut off somehow. We better see if there's a furnace or boiler or something. Probably be in the basement. Alright, let's have a look around. The whole left half of the house is filled with ice. Alright. She raises an eyebrow at you and glances at one of her weird instruments. According to my weird instruments, there are 13 ghosts left on the premises. More precisely, there are 4 left on the first floor, 4 left on the second, and 5 on the third. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that Terry is probably a ghost. Think you could blast us a path through all this ice? Oh no, that'd be a bad idea. The beam would refract and bounce all over the place. The house would basically be cheese. Swiss cheese, you mean? Could be any kind of cheese. I don't know. The implication that it's not making holes in the house, it is in fact turning it into cheese, is pretty funny. Your eyesight isn't good enough to really examine this painting. Listen, carrots... Never mind. This painting is only kind of good. It's one of those round fruits. This radiator is cold as a radiator is when the boiler isn't working. Unusually cold in here. Unusually cold? There's a huge wall of ice over there. What? You don't think that's unusual? Okay. Should we go to the cellar first? The door is barred. Disbar it. You remove the bar. It was a little too quick on the draw there. It's just a bunch of dusty old cleaning supplies. It's a box of old photos. They're all photos of boring-looking people you don't recognize. A Plotco lock, huh? Lucky for us, I have a key for every model they make. Florence fumbles a giant key ring out of her pocket and finds the one that unlocks the door for you. Head on in. I didn't mean to do this right away. I didn't even click on it, I don't think. I just sort of walked up near it. Oh hey, a lab. Check it out. Florence starts excitedly poking around the workbenches and shelves. They must have been doing some really good science down here. I don't even recognize half this stuff. Okay, well don't accidentally blow us up or anything. Psst, relax. I have an advanced degree in tinkering and fiddling. Uh-huh. You assume that these boxes all contain the same thing, but you don't know what it is. This workbench is littered with scrap metal and little canisters labeled bismuth, do not eat. It's a chart with all 76 elements on it, including holmium, selenium, and nickel. They even left room for the ones that haven't been discovered, like... Oops. Hold on. That's embarrassing. I had some thing in the background that I think was making noise. I don't know if it came in the recording or not. Anyway, what was I saying? They even left room for the ones that haven't been discovered yet, like rucobium, Schlarbium and Gassium. You know, it's funny because there's like a 2-layer joke here. It's not really even a joke. It's just a 2-layer thing. The joke is that it only has 76 elements, which I don't know if that's accurate for the 1890s or not, for the level of discovery that had been accomplished at that point. But also, there's a joke that isn't really a joke about leaving room for the ones that haven't been discovered yet, which, when you get into the, you know, molecular chemistry, we based on math and physics and chemistry, we know that there are undiscovered elements that have certain basically parameters. They basically should exist based on math, but haven't been identified. That's why there's that whole bar, which actually, that's got to be more than 76 squares. The whole bar at the bottom has over the last like 50-ish years been slowly filled up. A lot of the ones in there, and in a few other places on the chart, basically only exist. We were able to synthesize things, but they're, for various reasons, don't really exist naturally, often because they're like too unstable. They turn into other things. Molecular chemistry is interesting, or I guess it's not really molecular. It's atomic physics, but it all blends together at some point. Anyway, let's see here. It's a workbench with a device on it. This device clearly has a purpose, but you can't fathom what it is. Maybe that blueprint on the wall there could help you. All right, some kind of complicated blueprint. Try and figure it out. Aha! It's a device for reducing the loudness of gunfire. A silencer. A silenter, if you will. It's a workbench with a device on it. Look over the tools on the bench. You could definitely make a silenter here. The first thing you'll need is a 1.2337 diameter cylinder. Maybe a tin can would work. You'll also need some stuffing to pad out the inside of the can. That's going to be tricky to find. Okay, maybe later then. I'm guessing this is a gun upgrade that I can make at some point. Box of science stuff. Box of various glass tubes and coils of wire and little vials and chemicals and whatnot. It's a bench covered with gunsmithing tools and supplies. Mess with them. You don't really know much about gunsmithing, so you just kind of randomly cram pieces together until you have something gun-shaped. Got an item, the worst gun. Well, that feels bad. Who's got 2 thumbs and is lucky they haven't been shot off yet because of this inexpertly constructed gun? You. Damage, 1 to 1. Cabinet full of first aid supplies. Alright. Alright. I don't suppose I can use the science doohickeys here? No. How we doing, Florence? According to my weird instruments... Yeah, okay, it's the same thing. Found something for you. Science junk. Oh, I love sciencey junk. I found scientific-looking stuff you might be interested in. Oh, I love sciencey junk, thanks. Don't mention it. Florence attaches one of the science doohickeys you gave to her weird backpack. Florence's gun damage has been increased. New skill, Enlightenment Field. Okay. Nice. It's your partner. Pretty good lab. Is any of this useful for medical stuff if we get hurt? There's a decent looking saw on the rack over there. Boy, I regret asking. Okay. It's a big can of paint with a brush sitting on top of it. Paint something on the wall. Hilarious. Still not sure why you decided to paint that. What horrors lurk inside this thing? Tear it open and find out. It's bones. Well, bones and pants. Got an item, double silk pantaloons. This was a nice pair of silk pants before it got under another layer of silk before it got another layer of silk added to it by the spiders. And now it's a very, very nice pair of silk pants. I know we call spider silk, but that's not being pedantic. That's the whole joke. Okay. Well, we've got some spider friends to fight. These spiders aren't going to let you pass without a fight. Well, I'm sure I will need to do that. So I think we'll do it next time.